It's Triple Crown here, Saturday, September 28th, 2024. I'm kind of going into the archives a little bit, bringing you my Greenburg card show vlog. Greenburg is a town in Indiana about an hour away from my house. I decided that I would go and check it out, shop around a little bit, see what I can find. It's a show that is put on by a gentleman named Ryan. He is actually a college student, which I give him tremendous credit. I think when I was in college, I would not have time to promote my own show. I don't even know if I had much time to even go to a show if I wanted to. But promote one and get all the dealers, adjusted, make sure that everyone's doing okay. Tremendous props to him. I mean, he did an incredible job. I saw him walking around a lot, making sure all of his dealers were doing well. You could tell he put a lot of time and effort into it, and we'll have some future dates here in 2025 as well. I think he's going to try to grow the show even more, and wish him all the best because he did a heck of a job promoting this show. But I'm going to show you what I picked up today. I'm looking just for some inventory. I didn't bring a lot of cash with me. Preferably I'd prefer to use a electronic form of payment if I could. When I'm walking into the gymnasium here, and I'm going to see what I can go ahead and pick up to help me restock my cases a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into the vlog.
How's your channel going?
It's going well.
Good.
I mean, I just do it for fun, so it's not like I'm...
Is it monetized at this point?
Yeah. But, I mean, it's not good enough to, like, it's not going to pay the bills or anything.
It's not your primary income.
Right. It's kind of like the hobby of the hobby.
I understand. Yeah. So is the sports cards your primary income then, or?
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
A couple things I'll note here. First off, Ryan had promoted that someone would be coming to this show to vlog it for YouTube. Because of that, when people saw my GoPro, they were asking about it. Really kind of picking my brain about my process and making videos, what kind of videos I make and all that, which I usually do get asked about that on maybe more of a surface level because people will see my GoPro at a show and they'll be like, hey, what's up with the GoPro? Because let's face it, it's a little unusual to see someone walking around with a big camera strapped to their chest, right? So because of that, I got a lot of conversations asking about, the YouTube channel and all that, which was definitely fun to talk about as in depth as I got to. But I more so wanted to paint a picture that when you go to these smaller shows, at least in my experience, I have a lot more personal conversations, I guess you could say, where it's not just transaction. Hey, I'm interested in this card. Will you take this for it? Sure. Or no, thanks, I can't do that. Hey, do you have any players from this team in your showcase? No, you don't? Okay, thank you. That kind of stuff, the more surface level conversations, you get that at most shows. But here, there's not as many people. Because of that, you can pay more attention to each specific table. And as a dealer, you can pay attention to each specific customer. And that's something that I do really like about going to these shows, is that you could definitely spend more time with the dealers, get to know them better, and just talk about the hobby, which to me is a big part of the show. You can go buy cards online, but there's parts of the shows that you just cannot get anywhere else, and that to me was a big part of this.
What do you think? What do you see?
Can I look at the Peterson red?
Yeah, I wish I could find a price on that. I guessed. Okay, but now I have 130 point. So let's, that was earlier, so now let's try it. 2010.
I'd be impressed if you could find one.
Topps Chrome, red, refractor, 80.
How are you guys doing today?
It's 2010, right?
Yep.
Topps, so 2010 Topps Chrome, red refractor, Adrian. Sorry. It's one of those cards I just...
Yeah, these don't pop up, so I
they
wouldn't
just
expect...
don't.
Yeah.
That's why I made the move in the trade and got it.
Oh, you traded into it?
Yeah, I believe so. I usually trade into a bunch. Like I traded into that one. I sent it in. I traded into that one. Traded into that one at the Rip Night.
Oh, okay.
I picked up that one. I picked up that one. Picked up that one. In the trade night, which I love that trade night. I held my guns. Not a dollar left my hand. Not a dollar hit my hand.
That's
great.
good.
But that one,
You didn't send it off yourself, or you didn't think about it?
no, I just got it. So when I put it in that one touch, I thought,
Yeah.
So I send that to PSA or SGC. It looks really good, doesn't it? You want to take it out and
Yeah,
look
I'll
at
take
it?
a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
It's in one of those vintage one touches. That way I can keep the penny sleeve on it. Yeah, go
Smart.
right on ahead, man. I think it looks pretty. So this is my first show with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
This Adrian Peterson card caught my eye right away, and this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say you never know what kind of little hidden gems you're going to find out in shows that might be a little bit more a ways away from home, maybe not immediately off the highway. This AP card looks fantastic. A lot of these Topps refractors from, I'll say, really 2008-ish until the end of the Topps football run in 2015 don't really hold up all that well condition-wise these days. When I go out and find them, whether it just be the ones in value boxes, where it's the more common retail parallels, or even the ones like this that are the numbered hobby parallels, especially the low-numbered ones, seldom do I find copies of the cards that do not have scratches all over them. I can't tell you how many times I was looking at some cool Calvin Johnson cards that perhaps I would just throw in a Z-Folio, only to find that the surfaces on them looked like someone was playing shuffleboard with them. And it's something that unfortunately is all too common, but a lot of times in numbered refractors back in the day, unless it was something extremely low numbered or perhaps one of the upper echelon players like a Tom Brady, they just weren't valued as much. This is the start of the hit era, so to speak, where people are chasing pack issued autographs and relic cards, whereas the numbered stuff, it's not like it was irrelevant, but it definitely wasn't as weighted as it is today, right? The parallels seem to be a lot more desirable today, at least in terms of the refractors. Not that refractors aren't popular, but you get what I mean. My point in saying all this is that I'm gathering intel by asking him questions. Okay, have you thought about sending this off to grade? The reason I ask that is because that way, if he wasn't going to send it off, that probably means that there is that surface issue. Now, he was nice enough to let me take it out of the case and look over the card. I got to tell you, it was absolutely beautiful. The surface on that card was perfect. Now I'm going to see if I can try to add something together. Of course, I can't really find any sales history on it. There are sales on it from over a year ago, but that isn't really all that relevant to me. I'm not going to ignore them. I'm going to try to take that into consideration. But on cards like this, I'm more so concerned with what I think I can get for it. At a 200 price sticker, I think that's pretty fair. But my best case here is going to be trying to bundle something else together. So I'm going to examine the rest of his case and see what I can find to add to this AP and make him an offer. I'm looking at the Corbin Carroll as well, the gold wave.
This one?
Yeah, with this.
all right, yeah, I got that in. That was trade night. Look that one up.
It seems fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure that price was from trade night. I want to make sure I'm doing you right on that one. Okay.
On this one?
Yeah.
It seems fine to me. I would offer $220 on the pair if you could get there.
Okay. It's about 75%.
I'm kind of stuck in no man's land with this offer. But I find that most of the time when I throw out an offer, there is almost always going to be a counter. Very few times do people say, yeah, sure, I'll take that. And really my max here was going to be $240, $250. But if I offer that right off the rip, I feel like he's probably going to come back closer to $260, $270, $275. And then it kind of gets awkward because I don't want to counter again. I don't want to also counter at the same price that I offered the first time. To me, that's usually not my best negotiation strategies, and I find that the deals don't work out in that case scenario. Therefore, I kind of had to make an awkward offer at $225. It was less than I felt comfortable offering. I mean, who knows? Maybe he said yes, but I also don't want to make an offer that comes in pretty low and might be viewed as offensive at the same time. So kind of tiptoeing a fine line in this negotiation.
You do 240. Okay.
I'm going to grab this one out of your dollar box.
Oh,
It's separate.
It's yours.
Are you sure? All
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
I was already elated with this show after making this purchase because finding cards like that Adrian Peterson is one of my favorite parts about going to shows that I've never gone to before. this was a card that, would I have expected to have found this at the show? Absolutely not. But you never know what you're going to find when you kind of travel outside of your circle. And I've done that before in videos where I showed you, for example, my Bowling Green show. I went outside of my little region, found a ton of cool stuff that I normally don't see. And I'm very glad that I was able to work this out with this gentleman. He was extremely cool to work with. I enjoyed just chit-chatting with him as well. But we made a deal. Seems like both sides were happy, and that's really all you can ask for. Again, because it's a smaller show, I'm able to spend more time going through the value boxes. Here I run into a dealer who I haven't seen in quite some time, but he's been setting up since I've started, and in fact well before that. He always has fantastic value boxes, and the prices on his cards in his showcases are great too. What I normally see him doing is kind of hustling around the show looking to buy out other people's value boxes, and he's able to get them at a price where he can, give out a deal of his own. He has, by far, some of the best value boxes out there and has really developed a reputation, I'm sure, with many collectors, especially in the area that he's from, for having really good boxes. And I'm kind of show you what he's got here. I mean, there's a mix of numbered stuff from all different eras. He's got all types of sports covered here. Really the total package and what you're looking for, at least in my opinion, for what makes a great value box. You want to have good cards of good players at reasonable prices, right? It seems pretty simple, but sometimes executing that concept is not as easy, especially keeping the value boxes well stocked. I remember when I first started out, my value boxes I thought were pretty good, but the challenge came in restocking them consistently with new quality stuff, because once my cards got picked over the first couple of rounds of people coming through, it started to dip in quality, and I found that it was difficult to keep it up there. I don't find too much in these boxes that are for me. I did pull out 10 cards here, but I found a lot of stuff that definitely tempted me. You can see kind of the cards that I'm stopping on here for a moment. But he's got a couple of things in his showcase that I'm going to take a look at as well, see if I can add it to my stack and make a deal.
Hey, how are you?
Good. About yourself?
Okay. What's up?
What do you have on your Griffey?
The Griffey, I'm a little high on it just because it's a number match.
Oh, it is?
So I was asking 200 on it. 24.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like it.
How about Fitzgerald?
50.
50?
That's just a guess.
Okay.
For the red.
I'll take that with these here. I got 10 out of your dollar box.
So $60, is that okay?
Yep. Had to pick up the Larry Fitzgerald Red Prism from 2012. I don't believe these are as short printed as the retail reds that you see in modern day Prism football, but nonetheless, not easy cards to find. I seldom find them in the wild, much less a color match of a player of Larry Fitzgerald's caliber. But when I saw that in the case, I knew I had to ask about it. Now, is there sales history on that one? Yes, and there were several that were above that $50 mark, but to me it's one of those again where he was going to say a number and it was going to be kind of a yes or no thing in my head, because you just don't find cards like that out in the wild all that often, and I don't want to miss out on an opportunity if it's even close. But at $50, I'm not going to try to negotiate. That seems more than fair. I jumped on that one immediately, because you can probably tell in the video, and ended up doing pretty well on that card, as well as my little value box finds were a nice little bonus to that. But super glad that I was able to pick up the Fitzgerald. That Griffey was really tempting, but I decided to hold off for the time being. Interested in a couple out of here whenever you get a chance.
What do you want to see?
The Stroud and the Otani. Can you use 60 on the 4 of these?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Finishing the day with a nice stack of Golden Mirror SSPs from Flagship, a cool CJ Stroud numbered card also from Flagship, and then the Topps Chrome Otani X-Fractor that will most likely be an MVP buyback card here in about a month's time or so. I have a series in my head for the MVP buyback program this year that I can't wait to put together. I'll have more details on that a little closer to when the MVP buyback goes live, but I'm excited to show that off on the channel. And really, that was about it. A lot of the other clips I have are just me kind of going through various boxes like the one you're seeing on my screen here. Not really too much to talk about that I haven't already said in this video. Apologies if this one was a little exposition heavy, But like I said, a lot of what I was doing was just digging through boxes. There wasn't too much back and forth, and then other than that was just kind of conversations about the channel like you heard earlier on. But I had a lot of fun on this show, definitely worth the trip on a Saturday morning, and a show that I hope to visit again here in 2025 and beyond. But that's going to do it for today's vlog. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you next time. Take care, stay safe, be kind.